this week, I'm going to lead you through a hands-free, slow flow practice. This is a strengthening practice for the whole body without putting any weight or pressure on the hands or wrists. Let's get started. You don't need any props for this practice. Unless you know that you have sensitive knees, then it might be nice to have something to cushion the knees. Like I have these 2 knee pads I'm going to place under the knees. Could also be a folded towel or a folded blanket, anything that offers some cushioning for the knees. We are going to spend a bit of time on the knees in the beginning of the practice. And then, that being said, we are going to start in child's pose. So in your own time, just bring yourself down onto elbows and knees and slowly start to find your child's pose. Looking for a place for your hands where you feel that you don't need to put pressure on them. So you might have your arms, your hands overhead. You can also bring them down next to your legs and next to your sides. And feel free to also adjust your legs if they need to be a bit wider apart or closer together. Let yourself find your shape in this first child's pose. And we'll take just a moment here to check in with the breath. Check in with the body, how we're feeling today. You might allow your breath to slow down a bit, not forcing it, but just bringing that awareness to your breath. That might be enough to gently slow down the pace. If you want, you can exhale through pursed lips. And that might help to lengthen the out breath even more, if that's what you would like to invite into your practice today. Let's take another breath in and out. And then slowly from that child's pose, bring yourself onto elbows and knees. And we're going to do a few disco cats from here. So on elbows and knees, start to circle the weight from elbows to knees, knees to elbows. And then once you've found that circling movement, you can start to move your spine, going through those cat-cow movements, so arching, rounding the spine. Maybe allowing your neck, your head to move. Inviting movement to shoulders, back, hips. You can change the direction of those circles if you want. And we'll do a few more circles. Just notice how you're breathing as you start to move. Notice when you breathe in. And notice when you breathe out. And then from those circling movements, we'll slowly lean back into child's pose. Walk elbows closer to your knees and then bring arms down next to your legs, next to your sides. And we're going to do a few movements up and down from here. So now as you inhale, lift your back and your arms up and lift yourself up to standing on the knees, slowly reaching arms overhead. As you exhale, lean back into that child's pose, bringing arms back next to your sides, closing the chest. Same again, with the in-breath reaching up, opening the chest, maybe even looking up if you want to challenge your balance. And exhale, slowly arms come down, leaning back into that child's pose. Head can come down. 2 more rounds with your in-breath reaching up. It's a good wake up for the core, for the back, for the hips, as well as we're not using our arms or hands on the mat. And exhalation brings you back into child's pose. 1 more time. Inhaling, reaching up. You can rotate the shoulders, allow palms to turn up. And exhale 1 more time, leaning down into your child's pose. Then as you inhale, once more, reach your back and your arms up. Now stay up on your knees. As you exhale, just release the hands and arms down next to your sides. Then we're going to step the left foot out to the left side of the mat. And you might turn the toes up towards the ceiling. I'll turn a little bit your way. So you have your left leg out on the side. From here, we'll bring left arm behind the back and inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, lean into a side bend over that left leg. You might look down towards that left leg. So left foot toes might turn up, or you might close your left foot onto the mat. And then with the next in-breath, come back up to center. And exhale, release your arms down, bring your left knee back down. We'll do same to the other side. So open your right leg out to the right side again. You might rotate the right foot toes up, or you might turn the right foot down. Now right arm behind the back and inhale, lengthen up through the left arm. Exhale, lean just slightly over that right leg. Again, you might look down. Just waking up the sides, waking up that side bend. Breathing towards the left side. And then as you inhale, slowly lift back up. And exhale again. Release your both arms down. Bring both knees back onto the mat or onto the knee pads. And now we're going to step the left foot forward into a low lunge. Right foot toes can be tucked under, or you might release the toes. So finding your low lunge, you can lean the pelvis slightly forward, opening at the front of that that right leg, maybe opening at the back of the left leg. Next in breath, lift your back, lift your arms up, opening the chest. And exhale, soften the shoulders away from the ears. You might lean pelvis even slightly further down and forward if you feel that there's space, if it still feels good. But really waking up that left foot, left leg, that support from your foot all the way to your hip, all the way to your spine. Maybe there's a small back bend in the spine. Take another breath here, in and out. And then as you exhale, slowly bring your chest slightly further down and now lean your forearms onto your left thigh, onto your left knee. We're going to tuck the right foot toes under and then inhale, lift the right knee off the mat so we are in a higher lunge. Find your balance here. And then as you inhale, lift your back, lift your arms up again. And now as you exhale, twist out to your left, reaching left arm behind you, reaching right arm in front of you, like a T shape in the arms. You can either stay here, or as you exhale, reach your left arm behind the pelvis, behind the back, and then inhale, start to reach the right arm up and slowly leaning into the twisting, side bending, back bend. You might look out to the side, you might even look towards the right foot if that feels good. Take another breath in and out, keeping both legs strong. And then as you inhale, bring yourself back to center. And we're going to turn towards the long side of the mat into kind of a wide-legged forward bend situation in the legs. Turning both feet, toes towards the long side of the mat. Open arms out to the sides. And you can still adjust your feet so you feel there's good support on both feet. Now, as you exhale, slowly bring hands onto your hips and then tilt the pelvis forward. So you're leaning into a forward bend, but only halfway down. So keeping a flat back going on. Pause there to breathe in. And then as you exhale, see if you can bend a bit further down by rounding the back. Still keeping hands on the hips. You can also bring hands resting on your lower back. Take another breath in and out. Keep pressing down through both feet. And then as you inhale, come back into flat back. And with your next in-breath, lift yourself all the way up. Now reach your arms up and rotate your hips open, turning feet or the toes a bit more out to the sides. So we're going to go into some drinking birds. Make sure your knees, your toes go roughly in the same direction so we're not twisting in the knees. Knees slightly bent, slightly soft. Inhale, open your chest, lift your back up. As you exhale, bend forward, tilting forward from the pelvis. Arms swing next to your sides and behind the back, and then bending the knees further down. Next in breath, keep your knees bent, but lift your back up, reach arms up, sitting in an open horse pose. Still staying down. Exhale again, leaning forward. You can round your back, arms so your wings swing behind you. And again, inhale, lift the back up, open your chest, still keeping knees bent. You might even look up. 2 more times. Exhale, bending forward. If you start to feel dizzy, don't put your head all the way down. Keep the head a bit higher up. Inhaling up, opening through the chest, keeping both legs strong. 1 more time. Exhaling, bending down. The drinking bird. And inhale. Now lifting all the way up, extending the legs, reaching the back, reaching the arms up. And exhale, release the hands, release the arms. You can roll the shoulders. And then heel toe your feet closer together. If you have knee pads on the way, you can move them aside. Next, we're going to do some balancing. And we're going to start with a tree pose, adding some side bending to our tree pose. So find your weight onto your right foot. And we're going to rotate the left hip open. Now you might bring your foot next to your ankle, maybe somewhere below the knee, or you can bring your foot all the way up onto the inner thigh, if that feels good. Find your tree for today. And then, as you inhale, slowly lengthen arms sideways up. Find a V shape in the arms so you can still drop the shoulders away from the ears. Now you can stay here, or if you want, bring your left hand down, either the hand behind the back like we've done before, or you can rest the hand on your left thigh or knee. Inhale, lift up through the right side, and exhale, bend just slightly over to your left. So side bending, tree pose. challenging the balance a bit more. You can always bring that left foot down on the mat. Take another breath in and out. And then as you inhale, lift back up. Exhale, release the arms, release your both feet down. Roll the shoulders. And before we do that to the other side, we're going to change to another balancing pose, the balancing chair. Shift the weight onto your left foot. And now we're going to rotate the right hip open, but this time we're going to bring the right ankle or foot onto the front of that left thigh and bend that left knee a bit, like sitting down into a chair. You can bring palms together in front of the chest, or you can rest your hands on the opposite elbow. As you inhale, reach through the back, so lengthening through the back. And then exhale, see if you could bend that left knee a bit further down, tilting the pelvis forward, so you're really sending your bum back, but keeping that long line from head to your tail. Take a couple of breaths here, in and out. Find a focus point for your gaze. And then as you inhale, slowly come back up and release your legs, release your arms. Rock a bit from one foot to the other. And as you inhale, just lengthen up through the back, reach up through the arms, bigger breath in. And exhale, release the arms. Now we're going to go into that one-legged chair on the other side. So first, bring weight onto your right foot and then rotate your left hip open. So now left ankle, foot on the right thigh, so the front of the thigh. And again, you might bring palms together in front of the chest, or you might rest your hands on the opposite elbow. Inhale, reach up through the back. Exhale, sit down, bending the right knee, tilting your pelvis forward, really sending your bum back. And again, finding a good focus point for your gaze once you're down in your chair, one-legged chair. And then breathing here. Keeping tops of the shoulders soft. Letting the strength come through the foot, through the leg, to the core. Take one more breath here. And then with your in-breath, lift yourself back up. Release the hands, release the arms. Again, you can rock the weight a bit from one foot to the other. And then we're going to go into that side bending tree, standing on the left foot. And again, you might have your foot next to your ankle, somewhere below the knee or above the knee, just not pushing into the knee joint. The right hip rotated open, both buttocks active, left foot pressing down. Inhale, lengthen arms sideways up, and opening the chest. And either stay here, or as you exhale, you can bring right arm either behind the back, or right hand resting on the right thigh, right knee, and then exhale, lean slightly to your right. It could be a mini movement. Maybe it's just a thought of leaning to the side and breathing there. Keeping that support in the core. So maybe breathing a bit more out to the sides, to the ribs. Take one more breath here. Again, you can always bring that right foot down. And then as you inhale, lift yourself back up. And exhale, release the arms, release your feet. You can move your shoulders. And then we're going to go into those lunges on the other side that we did on the left side already. You might want to bring your knee pads back where you had them earlier, and then step your right foot forward and slowly find your way into that high lunge, that high runner's lunge. We'll go through these poses in reverse order on this side. So now as you inhale, keeping your balance, reach your arms up, and then exhale, twist out to the right, opening arms into that kind of a T shape. So now right arm reaching behind you, left arm reaching in front of you. And you can either stay here or bring right hand, right arm behind your pelvis, behind your back. And then as you inhale, start to reach up through the left arm. And you could exhale, move tiny bit further into the back bending, side bending twist towards that back leg. Here as well, find a focus point for your gaze. It is a balancing pose. We have 2 feet down, but we are very much balancing, using our core, using both legs actively. Take another breath here. And then as you inhale, lift yourself back to center. And then we're going to slowly bring the left knee down. You might lean your forearms onto the right thigh, onto the right knee. You might need to adjust your knee pads, your knee support. And then you can find your low lunge again. You can keep toes tucked under, you can release the toes. And once you've found a place for the legs, inhale one more time, reach your back, reach your arms up, opening through the chest, and just softening through the tops of the shoulders. Maybe there's a bit more room for that back bend now. And the right leg still staying strong. It might be tired, but that's very fine. Take another breath in and out. And then as you exhale, slowly start to bring yourself down. You can lean on to that right thigh so that you can then lift yourself up to standing on your knees. So bring both knees back onto the back mat, back onto that support. And then we're going to lean back into child's pose. You might open legs wider apart in this second child's pose if you want. And just slowly find your way onto elbows, onto knees, and then lean your head down. You might still adjust your legs. And just take a couple of breaths in and out here. If needed, adjusting the legs, adjusting the feet. And then you can either stay here, or if you want to add a twist to this child's pose, you might inhale, lift yourself onto your elbows, and then slide your left arm under your chest, under the right arm, and then bring your right arm behind your back, behind the pelvis. Maybe leaning the left side of your head onto the mat. So you're looking out to the right. And a few breaths here, in and out. The twist is very optional. You can always come back to that regular child's pose if that feels better today. Or maybe it feels safer for the hands, for the wrists. And then as you exhale, release the twist. If you're in the twist, bring your right elbow on the mat. And again, slowly come up onto both elbows. And then if you want, we can do same to the other side. So now you could kind of slide your right arm under your chest. And then bring your left arm, left hand behind the back, behind the pelvis. And you can lean your head the right side of the head onto the mat. And then a few breaths here. It's a gentle twist. Don't need to push or pull into a too big movement in the spine or shoulders. Allow it to stay rather soft. We'll take another breath in and out in that twist, if you are in a twist. And then slowly bring that left elbow back onto the mat. And slowly release the right arm. And then we're going to go lie down on the back. So find your easiest way onto your back. You can move props aside. Bring yourself to lie down on the back. And then check that you have some room on both sides of the mat. If you need to move props further away, you can still move them so you have some space for arms to open on the sides. Just give yourself a couple of breaths here, in and out. And then next we're going to go into some bridge movements with the option of moving your arms overhead and along the floor, but no pressure on the hands or the wrists. But you're very welcome to just keep arms next to the sides as well throughout these 3 rounds of bridge movements. So find your feet in a place where you feel you can press down through them onto the mat. As you inhale, lift your pelvis, your back, and your arms off the mat. And at the top of the bridge, bring arms overhead. Your arms can touch the floor. Next exhalation, bring arms sideways down as you lower your pelvis, your back onto the mat. So the arms make a full circle out on the sides. Same again. As you inhale, lift up into your bridge, arms moving in front of you and then overhead. And exhale, bring arms sideways, down back towards the hips and back, and pelvis come down on the mat. One more full round. With your in-breath, lifting up, arms go overhead. And exhale, arms slide sideways, back down and back, pelvis come down on the mat. Then as you inhale, lift up into one more bridge, bring arms overhead. And now stay in that bridge as you bring arms out to the sides into a T shape. Backs of the hands can rest on the mat, on the floor. Take a couple more breaths in the bridge. Our last back bend for today. And then as you exhale, you can keep your arms where they are, but just slowly bring your back and bring your pelvis down. And then bring knees towards the chest, towards the belly. And extend your legs up towards the ceiling. You do a few circles with your wrists, or you can point and flex your feet. You can keep arms still out on the sides if you want, or you can lower them down, or even bring overhead. In the next couple of poses, if you want, you can support your legs with your hands and arms if that feels good. But you can also do this without any support from the arms. We're going to go into thread the needle pose with the legs. First, bring your right ankle, your right foot on the left thigh or knee. So it's like that standing chair, one-legged chair that we had. And then exhale, bend the left knee and use that left leg actively to bring your right leg closer to your chest. So we're looking for some stretching in the right buttock, right thigh. Here, if you want, you could reach hands to the back of that left thigh and help hugging the leg closer with your hands. But it can be a good strengthening and stretching exercise if we do it without the arms, especially if you're used to using always arms to pull. Now try to find some strength in that left leg, in your core and your hip flexors, to do that kind of gentle pushing towards the chest with the leg, with the core. Take another breath in and out. Like I said, arms could also be overhead. And then exhale, slowly release. Bring both legs again up towards the ceiling. You could shake the legs a bit. And then we'll do the same to the other side. So now bring your left foot, left ankle onto the right thigh. And then exhale, start to bend that right knee. I quite like to imagine that there's a wall kind of under that right foot, as if I'm gently pushing that right foot onto the wall, like we sometimes do in a wall yoga practice. And keep breathing, keep sending your breaths all the way down towards the hips, all the way down towards the thighs. Imagine you can breathe into your legs. Keep shoulders soft. And again, you have the option of reaching hands behind the right thigh if you want. Take another breath in and out. And then again, as you exhale, release both legs up towards the ceiling. Maybe a couple more circles with the ankles, or shake the legs a couple of times. And then we're going to bring the feet down onto the mat and open the legs into a butterfly pose, a reclining butterfly pose. Have your hands, arms, again, in any place where you feel they can relax. And send a couple of breaths down towards the lower belly. Allow exhalations to release, to soften tension. You might even let out a sigh through the mouth. And then if the butterfly shape, butterfly pose feels really good now, you can stay there for longer, or slowly start to release your legs into the Shavasana pose, into your own resting, relaxation pose. Find an easy place for the legs, for your hips. Find an easy place for your back. You might have your knees bent as well. Find an easy place for the shoulders, for your neck. And find an easy place for your arms, your wrists, your hands. And let them rest in a safe place. And if you want, you might close your eyes and invite your full awareness to your breath. And here, just let yourself take a moment to observe that natural, gentle flow of your breaths. Allowing each out breath to soften tension, release effort and release holding that you don't need right now. Just let yourself be here for a moment. Give yourself at least 5 to 10 more breaths in your resting pose. With those 5 to 10 breaths, check in how you're feeling now. And if you might need a bit longer time in this resting pose today. After your 5 to 10 breaths, you can choose to stay longer in that resting pose, or you could start to slowly bring some gentle movement to your fingers, your toes, hands and feet if that feels okay. Gently start waking up your body. You might rock your head from side to side. Or you could bend your knees, step feet on the mat, and do a few windshield wipers, swinging the legs from side to side. Any movement that feels good after that resting pose. And then in your own time, slowly start to bring yourself up into a seat, into your own final seat. And that can be any pose, any shape of your choice, where you could give yourself a few more breaths to slowly close the practice. And if it's a part of your practice, you can bring your palms together in front of the chest. And as always, at the end of the practice, most importantly, thank yourself for taking this time to arrive onto your mat, to move, to breathe, to look after yourself today. And I thank you very much for joining in and for sharing the space and sharing the practice. Namaste. Thank you.